there's a difference between muscular failure and like discomfort and like
personal
and financial failure,
moral failure.
moral failure. Welcome back to the Perkfitt podcast. We took a real long hiatus this time. I would say it was like a seasonal break.
Oh.
So
Season 2.
This is season 2. Yeah, we're starting season 2 now. We did a bunch of episodes, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's fine that we took a break. We're busy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
We have lives. Sue me.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I had like, at one point there, I had like basically 3 full-time jobs.
That's true.
Which was like really chaotic and stressful.
Yeah.
So we've, I've sort of figured it out. Well, I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, you quit one job.
I resigned from one job, yes.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. I didn't quit. No, I worked for a long time for a nonprofit.
That's true.
And I was a creative director, and I stepped back to focus just on coaching and the Ladder app.
Do you feel less cool now that you
Perkfitt
can't say
brand.
that you're a creative director?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say, step back from one job to focus on this stuff. So chances are, I'm not going to promise anything, but we'll be doing more episodes more frequently now in season 2. Maybe I don't mean the frequency will be more, but the frequency of breaks will be less. I had a birthday.
Congratulations.
During the seasonal break.
How many? How many birthdays?
36 this year. Yeah.
Wow.
There's not really anything to say about it. It's just
it's just a cool
another number.
It's a cool number.
Another year.
Yeah. Do you feel old?
I felt old when I turned 30, and it hasn't really stopped.
Oh. Wow.
But they say, like, as you age, I guess, like with anything, you get used to it, and it's just like, damn, every year that goes by, your first year you were here, you're like, fuck, this is long.
Yeah.
The second one, you're like, this is still really long.
Yeah.
And then you hit 30 and you're like, this year's like so short.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you think of it in like percentage wise, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you're 10, you're like, wow, this is like a 10th of my life in this last year. But by the time you get to 30, you know.
Yeah, fractionally. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think people just skip that part?
What part? The intro?
In the beginning, yeah.
I don't know what people do. There's not really enough of them to like try to figure out what they do.
Yeah.
We could ask them, but
they just skip it to the questions or something.
They just don't watch it. They never start it. That's what most people do. I saw something on the internet. This is a diet that Vogue printed in the 1970s. Okay, so this is your full day of eating. In the 1970s, breakfast, 1 hard-boiled egg.
Yuck.
1 glass of white wine.
Turn up.
Black coffee.
Nice.
That's breakfast. Lunch. Lunch is 2 hard-boiled eggs.
Yuck.
2 glasses of white wine.
Nice.
Black coffee. Lunch. 2 eggs. You double the eggs, you double the wine, you kept the coffee the same. Dinner, 5 ounces of steak. That's 150 grams. Grilled with black pepper, lemon juice.
Weird.
And the remainder of the white wine. 1 bottle allowed per day. And some coffee. And black coffee for dinner. This is a real...
They just make you drunk all day so you forget you're hungry.
3 days, lose 5 pounds, it says. I feel like you might, if you did that. Not really a highly recommended diet, but I thought that needed to be heard. Wine and eggs. It just says wine and eggs. That's what it's called. That's the diet name.
Well, I mean, pretty accurate.
Do you want to ask some questions?
Sure. Do I need to train to failure?
Yeah, you do. Or at least close to it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. It's really best for building muscle that you go to failure or close to it. You can still build muscle like 1, 2, 3 reps shy of failure. So like RPE 7, 8, 9, leaving 3, 2, 1 rep in the tank. You can still build muscle that way. But the problem is most like average lifters are way off when it comes to estimating their proximity to failure.
Yeah.
So if you've never like truly experienced like failure on a deep level.
Yeah.
No, there's a difference between muscular failure and like discomfort and like
personal
and financial failure,
moral failure.
Moral failure. Do you think that if we invited Carl Lentz on, he would come?
No.
Damn.
You're not famous enough.
I have to say this. There was a scene. It's like a documentary. So I don't know if it is a scene, I guess. Is that a scene? Is a documentary shot a scene?
I don't know. You should ask the creative director.
I'm going to ask the creative director. I'll find out. There was a scene in, what was the documentary called?
It was just the Hillsong one. I don't know what it's called.
Hillsong documentary. Carl Lentz's Fall from Grace. Anyway, there's a point in the documentary where he's at his new job. And his new job is like just like a corporate job where he's got a desk.
Yeah.
Right, his own desk, and then he goes to a conference room with his coworkers. But he just looks like he's just dressing like Pastor Carl Lentz, you know?
Yeah.
Like with his YSL boots and his like tight jeans with holes in the knees, and like he just looks like him, but everyone else is wearing like business,
just so average,
just like business, like normal like business casual clothing, and it felt like an SNL skit to me. Like I felt like this was completely staged, and I really need to know like if that was the case. So if anyone knows.
So the difference between muscular and moral failure.
There's a difference between discomfort and muscular failure.
Yeah.
And like, you know, average lifters, new lifters tend to equate like discomfort with, oh man, I went to failure.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. Like muscular failures different. So anyway, so it's hard for you to even estimate how close you are to failure.
Yeah.
What you need to do and know how far away you are or have an idea to build muscle.
Yeah.
So you have to go to failure like once to just know.
Yeah.
Like what that looks like. Yeah, but most people haven't done that. So, but yeah, you don't need to go to failure on every set to build muscle, but you need to go close to it. And close is if you think you're close and you're not, basically, most people.
But how do you do that if you like don't have someone spotting you? You're just like, well,
it depends on what kind of machine.
Me.
Sure, it depends on what kind of machine. If you're on a machine that you don't need a spotter on, then yeah, you can do that. You'll need a spotter for sure. That's why you need a workout partner. And if you don't have it, I tell everybody, like just ask somebody. I tell everybody on the ladder app, like in my program and the voiceovers, I'm like, just ask someone. They'll be happy to spot you. Like,
yeah,
you'd be surprised. They'll be happy to help you out. So just ask a random person. It's fine. But then, like a lot of people have social anxiety and can't do that.
Yeah.
Find a friend. Take them with you. Even if it's just to stand behind you while you're squatting.
Nice.
All right. I think we answered that question and more.
Bicep curl tips.
Tips for your bicep curls.
Yeah, I guess so. Like a tutorial on how to curl your biceps.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if a couple of mistakes that I see made pretty often are number one, your elbows are flared out too much. And that's going to take tension off your biceps the more they're flared out. So you should keep your elbow under your shoulders and your wrist in line with your elbow. So all this should line up. So make sure that that's happening. Number one. Number two, you don't want your shoulders to drift or move around. So lock your shoulders into place and keep them there. Number three, I just have another one. you don't want to lean backwards as you're curling. So a lot of times if the weight's heavy, as you start to curl up, it's hard, right? Because the most tension is on your bicep at that 90-degree mark.
Yeah.
And instead of either lightening the load or staying in that position where the tension stays on your biceps and curling up, you will lean back. And that'll help you get the weight up, sure, because you're using other muscles and some momentum to get it up. Don't do that. And then, what's that, number 3? Mm-hmm. And then number 4, like, you should be able to control the negative. You need to control the negative on it. Because if you just let the weight fall down, you're missing a ton of gains, bro. A ton of gains. That's right.
Nice. Tips on how to perform Bulgarian split squats.
Have you done these? What do you think about them?
Bad.
Bad in what way?
Hurts,
don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things suck. I mean, they're notoriously, no one likes them.
Yeah, of course.
If they're saying that, then they're lying. Okay, tips for performing your Bulgarians, because they're hard to do. Mm-hmm. It's especially if you don't have good balance or you've never done them before, it can be really challenging. So I would say the first thing you should do is just stare at a spot on the wall, like find a spot, something, and just lock in with your eyes on it and just stare at it. That'll help you a little bit. On your front foot, think about spreading your toes out. Mm-hmm. And like getting real wide with your front foot.
Yeah.
That'll help a little bit. And then just make sure you go down slow and under control. I would start with body weight.
Yeah.
And then work your way up. But if you don't want to do that, or you just can't do that, sometimes I will do them like in a squat rack. So I have the rack to hold on to for balance, and I'll just load one side, like one leg with a dumbbell. So that's an option for you. It'll probably be, it'll be easier because you don't have to balance. But then you'll have to make it harder with the weight,
Yeah.
So that's an option too.
So just don't do them?
No, you should do them probably. Probably should be in the rotation.
Maybe. You could just skip it.
Don't skip it.
If you want to skip it, you can.
Okay. Katie says you can skip it. Not me. It's weird being called Coach Corey all the time now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Coach Perk would be weirder. Stranger.
Yeah, probably.
I don't like it. I like the alliteration of it, but I don't like being called Coach Corey. Yeah, I feel like it should be out, like a coach of a little league team or something.
Yeah.
That feels like the most appropriate and honoring term for someone who's a coach.
Yeah.
Or like not my high school, my elementary school gym teacher. His name was Mr. Lindemer. Mm-hmm. And he was just a dude who was the gym teacher.
Available.
He did it. He did the job. No, he was phenomenal at it. We loved him, and we loved gym class. It consisted of like kickball, dodgeball, and like normal things that you would do back then that were fun. And he gave every single one of us nicknames. Every single kid got a nickname. And it was like based on your personality and all these things about you. So he gave us nicknames. And some of them were, I think, appropriately funny. They weren't like mean or anything.
What was yours?
It doesn't read great. Like I would change it, but I was proud of it. It was Corey Thunder Toe Perkins, because I would just kick it home runs all the time, just home run after home run.
Nice.
Kicking in kickball. And so that's how I got my nickname. And I remember, so my dad said, hey, I want to teach you a little trick for when you're playing dodgeball in gym class. He's like, if you get two of the dodgeballs, if you lob one up, right, that's going to have people on the other team looking up, trying to catch it like this. While they're doing that, you just whip that second one at them. Mm. And I was like, this is genius. This is brilliant. I have to put this into practice immediately. So the next day, or like the day after, I don't remember. I was in gym class. There was a kid on the other team. His name was Should I say his name?
No.
Okay. The nickname he gave him was Knothead, and his last name started with a K, so it kind of like had that. Mm-hmm. It just rolled off your tongue.
Wow.
But he was born premature. He had like glasses that are like 1.5 inches thick. You know, it was like you could start a fire if he like looked into the sun. He would start a fire in the classroom. I got 2 dodgeballs. I threw one up in the air, like lobbed one up in the air, and he was like looking up to catch it. And I literally like crow hopped. I put every ounce of everything I had into the throw, and it hit him in the face, and it broke his glasses, and he started bleeding like a lot everywhere. And, you know, things like that happen in dodgeball. You get hit in the head.
Yeah.
I think the rule was you're not out. You can stay in. Yeah. But he had to go because he was bleeding, and he went to the nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hit failure.
And he hit complete failure. And Coach Linderman was not happy with me.
Yeah.
But he also, you know, he was laughing.
Impressed.
Yeah, he thought it was funny. Had to change my name.
To what?
Thunder Throw. Thunder Throw Perkins.
I ate too much yesterday. Am I going to lose my progress?
No, I don't think so. I doubt it.
Cool.
Listen, like calorie spikes are inevitable. Like it happens. Maybe you overeat in a day or something, but it takes, I think, over 3,500 calories over your maintenance calories for you to gain a pound. And you have to think about your caloric intake in terms of not just days. Mm-hmm. It's important that you do, but weeks and months and years. Like you need to think about it in a longer term, because if you maybe you overate today, but that's not gonna throw you off your progress. I mean, it will if it becomes a habit and you just don't stop. But psychologically, it can feel like, you know, you're a failure.
Yeah.
And make you sort of give up. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't give up.
You're almost there.
You're nearly there. You're so close to breakthrough.
2 more reps left.
2 more reps.
I'm about to go to the first gym in my life. Any tips?
Yeah. Join my program in the Ladder app. But seriously.
Join.
Seriously, join, please. I've had a lot of people on my team in the app say they've never felt so confident going into the gym because like they have a structured plan. The movements that they're doing are like appropriate movements, you know, like effective movements. So they don't look stupid.
Yeah.
And they're getting like voiceovers from me while they're doing the movement. So they're constantly getting cues from me, telling them how they can perform it better and feel the mind muscle connection better, but they're also seeing me do it. Yeah. So like the combination of that, I think, especially if you've never been to a gym before.
Yeah.
It's good to, like, you need to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the social anxiety is what it is. But if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you know that like these are good things to do.
Yeah.
And I'm doing them sort of appropriately. Like that takes a lot of that
pressure off. Yeah.
Pressure off for sure, I feel like. But also people don't really care that much like about what you're doing. They're not like.
No, unless you're doing something crazy.
They're not really taking videos of you. Yeah, unless you're doing something crazy. Joey Swole even snuffed out more of that. But yeah, like if you're every once in a while I'll see something and someone will be like, I don't even think Joey Swole could say anything about this because it's so insane.
Yeah.
But I don't think those are necessarily first time gym goers. I think they're just like
they're just living
people who are training to like, you know, for their first fight or something.
Have you seen those ones where the guy's like on the pull-up bar and then he like drops down and does like pushes and like crawls around like he's a spider?
No, crawls around like he's a spider.
I don't know. That's what he looks like to me.
I'll have to find it and throw it up on the.
Yeah, he looks crazy. I mean, he's very fit, but terrifying.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that a lot of people do, like fitness influencers and coaches, and I don't know if they're coaches, but They just do crazy stuff just because it gets good views.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, this person looks like this. So if I hang from this bar.
Yeah.
And like balance like 2 different benches on either foot, I'll get abs or something. It's like, what? If you're new to the gym, just like do a little bit of research, before you dive in there, and figure out what you should do. And if you don't want to do a ton of research, then just I've done it for you. Years and years.
Yeah.
Of experience.
I remember for a while I didn't know how to turn a treadmill on.
You don't want to ask anybody either.
No way.
Yeah.
It was like kind of before the age of like YouTube.
Damn.
I know.
Old.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. So what'd you do? How did you get to the point where you just turned it on?
I think I just watched someone else.
Just like behind them?
I just like saw I saw them walk up to it and how they got it to turn on.
Yeah. A lot of gyms though, like half the treadmills are not functioning. So that.
No, that's just our gym.
That's just the gyms that we go to.
Yeah. Can going to the gym make me taller? How do I get taller?
Can going to the gym make me taller?
How do I get taller?
What do you think?
You gotta stretch.
You gotta just get stretched out.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gym and stretch it out.
Yeah.
Your height.
Yeah, have someone pull on your head and someone else pull on your feet, and then I think that'll do it.
I don't know why that's such a common question that I get.
Because people are dumb.
You could there's a procedure where they'll like break your shins, stretch it out. You have like a halo around your shin.
Sounds horrible.
But then you're sort of like
kind of disabled. Well,
you're not. I was going to say disabled. I was going to say like disproportionate.
Yeah.
Because your shins are super long now, and like the rest of you isn't that long. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I have no idea how this procedure works, but it is possible to get taller. I don't think it's going to happen at the gym.
This is a podcast for people who do gym stuff and others too.